guys make me sick to my stomachs, fam.
This didn't exist before we were here. Look around at the square. I promise you right now.
Just one of the most intelligent people I've ever met. Scrabble champion. She's a top shelf lady.
I ain't show out with none of the study. I don't really do what other people do, like, or true religion. I don't really do that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But
Ash, forget it. Look, can we just break up and get this over with?
So I'm pretty obsessed with the concept of code switching, otherwise known as linguistic style shifting. On the one hand, being part of the Haitian-American community, I'm around people all the time who have this innate ability to switch between French, English, and Creole mid-sentence, seemingly without even thinking about it. And at the same time, while the places I lived growing up were dominated by Black English, I was always labeled as someone who talked white. So consciously or unconsciously, from a young age, I was always aware of the role that speech styles play in social interaction. So I read the seminal book on the topic to try and get to the bottom of how style shifting actually works, why people like Drake can be viewed with such suspicion, and why one day in the future, the phenomenon might be a thing of the past altogether. So for those of you who don't know, code switching means to change from playing rugby league to rugby union or vice. No, that's not right. Okay, here it is. To alternate between languages, dialect, or registers. Sometimes the term is used to refer to switching that happens mid-conversation.
Nomás I hear pa, 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 pa. Es mi camarada. El vato es 15 años. 15 years old.
But sometimes it refers to altering your dialect or register depending on context or situation.
Like if you're in an interview, do you white it up? And then if you're in the locker room, do you black it up?
Yeah, I think the term now, what the kids are saying is code switching.
Yeah.
So the two questions we need to really answer are how and why do speakers change or adjust the ways that they speak? In Samy Alim's book, it was super fascinating to see the specific ways that 4 Black inner city students' speech varied according to who they were speaking with. He had these 4 students from Haven Hill High School in Sunnyside, California, conduct what he called semi-structured conversations with 8 students from the local university. He recorded the conversations and then tracks their usage of a couple of key features. Now, obviously, Black English and style shifting involve more than just these specific features. It also involves pronunciation, vocabulary usage, and tons of other features, some of which are touched on later in the book. But by tracking these specific features, it allowed him to get some super interesting data and see some fascinating trends. For example, it's wild to see, like, empirically, the degree to which all 4 speakers shifted depending on who they were speaking with. But looking at this graph, we can also see a fascinating difference between Bilal and Amira. Bilal has a smooth, subtle shift between speakers, seemingly based on their characteristics, while Amira has a super abrupt shift, showing how different speakers respond differently to whatever specific factors are eliciting the shifting behavior in the first place. Which brings us to the why. I think our first reaction when thinking about the why of style shifting is to focus on the speakers who are shifting and what their motivations are or what the purpose of their communication is. Like, are they seeking acceptance? Are they trying to express exclusion? Are they trying to express solidarity? And while I think all those are important factors, what I appreciated about the book is that it looked at the other half of the conversation too. In other words, instead of only asking why does Amira use copulas so frequently with one speaker and not with another, it asks how do 2 speakers co-construct the form of a conversation. You can kind of think of it like a dance. Like in a dance, there's typically one person who's leading the dance, but they're also responding to the feedback and ability of their dance partner. Or if both partners are either unable or unwilling to be flexible in their dance styles, then it might end up being a bad time for everybody. And in this case, conversational flexibility or accommodation doesn't necessarily mean changing the way you speak. It could just be a matter of being flexible in your comprehension of the other person and the ways that you respond to their social cues. But why is it that people seem to have a problem with Drake's specific brand of code switching? Is the problem, as Kendrick hyperbolically asserts, that people should
never code switch, whether right or wrong? You're a black man, even if it don't benefit your goals.
Well, while occasionally you definitely do hear people who view it as a moral failing, as if style shifting is essentially tantamount to like hiding behind a mask, I think most people realize and intuitively understand that it's possible to still be yourself, even if you're doing it in a different speech style. In fact, let's look at a couple more examples.
But when I say I'm an artist, meaning I'm so into what I'm doing every day, meaning my craft, that when I have to go too far into something else, I put somebody else in charge of it. When there's somebody else that was in charge of it messes up, then everything blows up. And that's how everything blew up. We just need the debris to clear and codify. The boys skate, yeah, my daughter does not skate. And he was just so focused on, I don't know if I turned my left shoulder proper enough. I'm not sure if my left foot was, I was like, I need to be that focused on something else.
Lucky is a responsible father, committed father.
trying to deal with some pain from the past and trying to get through daily survival in South Central Los Angeles.
Interesting. So then in that case, is the problem that Drake is mixed?
Is it the fair skin or the Jewish roots?
Well, maybe. But remember the clip that we showed earlier of Blake Griffin?
I'm doing Mello's podcast right after this. By the way, if you want to see a stark contrast, it's gonna be me with like glasses on. I'm gonna have like a chain on. Like, yeah, Kobe was dope as Here I'm like, dude, it's like seeing Jesus.
I don't necessarily hear people having the same criticisms about Blake. So from what I can tell, I think it comes down to two big issues when it comes to Drake. The first is his Canadian-ness. See, Drake is Canadian. Drake is very Canadian, and his speech generally contains a number of features specific to Toronto English.
Oh, right. Jeez Louise, man. You want that shit? Drake's the type of guy that would say jeez Louise.
But in certain situations, instead of shifting to a style typical of Black Canadians.
Before I was saying fam, I was saying bro, and before I was saying bro, I was saying dog. And a dog and a bro is still your fam, so I just took away the dog, took away the bro, and now I say fam.
Drake ends up speaking in a way that's more reminiscent of American Black English.
I ain't show out with none of the study. I don't really do what other people do, like, or true religion. I don't really do that stuff, you know what I'm saying? But
and whether conscious or not, I think that this can trigger in people that like something's off here. Like, I think we're used to people shifting along a specific spectrum, but when someone shifts between 2 points that aren't really connected, or we're not used to being connected, it can kind of feel like they jumped a linguistic turnstile or they crossed some invisible line. But the other thing is that there's lots of reasons to dislike Drake. Reasons that we will absolutely not be getting into in this video. But like, fair enough. And if you already are predisposed to disliking him, then you're definitely not going to be willing to extend him grace when it comes to his speech. And as a matter of fact, instead of just coming off as inauthentic, his form of style shifting might come off as straight up manipulative to you. That being said, I don't know, man. His dad's from Memphis. Apparently he spent his summers there. I don't know. And honestly, what's more interesting to me than putting Drake on linguistic trial is looking at the ways things have changed in the 20 plus years since the book was published. For example, in the study, none of the white students displayed any variation in their usage of the copula, plural S marker, or use of invariant B. The general trend was that the Black speakers tended to accommodate to the speech of the person they were talking to and not the other way around. But funny enough, as I've been working on this very script, I've been doing a deep dive on Harry Mack videos, and I can't help but notice how many of the people he runs into, white speakers, do have variation in those same features.
Not gonna lie, he low-key thick. From the back though, like, hear me out.
And also, this is totally anecdotal and is obviously not true for all communities. But I also feel like coinciding with the rise of suburban Black accent, there's also a trend of younger Black speakers' speech drifting more and more towards mainstream norms. The Disneyfication of Gen Z speech. And I bet if you were to rerun this experiment now, you would see a lot more accommodation on both sides. And regardless of how you feel about this, if you were to give the process like several more decades, I could see this leading to a situation of dialect leveling. Also, speaking of Harry Mack, I noticed a feature that he tends to use incorrectly, which I think is fascinating, but outside of the purview of this video, so maybe I'll save it for a future one. Let me know if you want to hear about that or any other topics. Anyway, I've been Daniel. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.
Like when you're sitting talking with your cousins and your grandmother and your uncle and you're like, that's one thing. You go to school and it's not that you're doing it on natural on purpose. You're just kind of somewhat trying to like blend into the environment so you don't, it's already difficult enough.